how long you been in this craft, hobby?
I started about 1988. Yeah.
And historically, you used to write for Cycle Magazine.
That's
when
right.
You were a kid.
That's right.
You've always been a gearhead.
Yes, yes. And I grew up in a garage. My dad was a garageman, and I grew up with the mechanics, and that was my first job, was scraping carbon and grinding valves and turning armatures.
Sweeping the floor.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, so let's go down here. What do you call it? What type of engine is this right here? Open crank?
This is a completely open engine with the exception of the combustion chamber. You can see everything operating on this engine. It was designed by Randall Cox, who's here at the show today, and is mainly good for showing children how a four-cycle spark ignition engine operates. They can see all the parts of it, including, watch for the rotor in the middle here. And that'll idle down to about 600 RPM and just run smoothly all day using regular gasoline. And it doesn't require any oil except a drop on the connecting rod journal in the morning, and that's it.
And when you were building engines, was this at the beginning or within your range of years you were building them?
Oh, after I retired as being a surgeon for about 35 years, I started building engines.
Okay, but this particular one?
No, this one was built by the designer, Randall Cox. Yeah, Randall built this engine.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now this is the venerable and famous old Challenger V8. It's 100 cc's, flathead V8. The exhaust comes off inboard, kind of like the old LaSalle and Cadillac flatheads, but it's not really a replica of the Cadillac or the LaSalle. Let's see if it'll start. Yes, it is a. It's not exactly a kit. It's a casting set.
Yes, yeah.
So you get rough castings, and then you get rough plans, such as the ones down in the showcase here. And then you have, and you can see there's a lot of work that needs to be done. You have to make your own crankshaft and your own camshaft. The hardest parts are the camshaft, the piston rings, and I would say maybe the crankshaft.
Okay.
They use a flat crankshaft on this, 180-degree crank, which gives it that unusual loping sound.
Okay, and how about here?
Okay, this engine is a British design by Edgar Westbury called the Sea Lion. This got an overhead camshaft, and it's a very lively little engine. It really revs up. That's also a casting set. It's available, I think, from a company in England.
Okay.
It's a very beautiful design by Edgar Westbury. He designed about a dozen engines.
Okay. All right, next.
Now this little engine here is also a Westbury design. Only 15 cc's, just a tiny little engine. Let's see if we can get it to start. There it goes. It's called the Seal Miner. And when you close off the exhaust, it sounds like a little sewing machine.
What fuel are you running in that?
Just gasoline.
Okay.
We usually put in a little tiny bit of oil for cylinder lubrication. Now this little engine here is called the Silver Angel. This one has just been brought out of mothballs, and it hasn't been set up to run yet. We're going to get that reconditioned. But this,
hit and miss?
It's a hit and miss.
Okay.
Now this one here is Bob Shore's Silver Angel. It's a sweet little single cylinder hit and miss engine, and usually it starts on the first flip. We'll see if it will. There it goes.
Sweet.
Isn't that nice? Yeah. And it'll idle down like you wouldn't believe, or it'll go a little faster. So people that like mechanical stuff really enjoy seeing these little things with the fly weights. Let me rotate it around so you can see the fly weights back here.
That's like your governor or something, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Everything mechanical.
Everything mechanical. You can even slow it down more than that. So it's just barely turning.
You can almost, it idles so slow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Steve, this is a result of buying the Revell Visible 4 kit. They make a Visible V8, and they also make a Visible 4. And so the Visible 4 had this nice molded distributor cap, and it had these little spark plugs. Are they lighting up? I can't tell from here. Yeah. So I took a wall 4 and sort of made a block so that the kids could turn this and see the spark plugs lighting in the correct order. And they could also see the other parts of an engine.
And all your camshaft, most of your valves.
Yeah, just about everything there.
Yeah.
So the kids have a good time with that.
Okay, and this is that German...
This is the German... Yeah, I think it's called the Home, H-O-H-M. And they make these in Germany. You have to pass a test on the parts of a car to get a driver's license. Okay.
We got our ignition over here.
This is just to explain to folks what the simple Kettering ignition system is like. Breaker points, old Volkswagen distributor cut apart, and an old can coil, and a condenser. So you can see the whole thing, and you can see the spark jumping over there. And if you touch that, you'll get a good jolt because it's a standard 12 volt.
Real thing.
12 volt coil.
That's a regular wake up.
It'll wake you up.
And here's your other demo here.
Yeah, I wanted to build something that a father could show his son how an engine operates and explain the 4 strokes of the 4-stroke cycle.
Or daughter.
Or daughter, yeah. And we have had kids come back who said, I was here 8 years ago and my dad taught me, and I understood it from that, and said before that I didn't. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. That's kind of fun.
The casting kit here.
Now the last one, Steve, that people ask all the time, is there a kit? And the answer is no, there's not a kit, but there's often a casting set. So we show the casting set on the left side, and then on the right side they're partially machined, and then the finished engine you just saw running a few moments ago. That was the Seal Minor.
Retired surgeon.
Retired surgeon. Having fun with the little engine. Yeah.